Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fundamental shift in how the internet works. We're talking about a move away from the web we know, a web of static pages, towards something alive, something active, the Agentic Web.
Look, over the last few years, we've all gotten pretty used to generative AI, right? We've all played with chatbots that can write an email, hold a conversation, and answer our questions with incredible fluency.
But the next evolution is already here. And honestly, it's a total game changer. We're going beyond AI that just talks to us to AI that can actually take action autonomously to achieve goals for us. These aren't just responders anymore, they're doers.
So what's the big difference between the AI we know and this new agentic AI? What does it really take to jump from just talking the talk to actually reliably walking the walk?
Well, it's all about closing what experts are calling the reliability gap. Think about it. That's the huge gulf between an AI giving you a plausible-sounding answer and an AI that can flawlessly run a complex, mission-critical business process from beginning to end. It's the difference between a good idea and a job well done.
And get this is not some far-off science fiction future. A recent survey showed that 42% of chief information officers are already making plans to deploy these autonomous agents. This isn't coming, it's already happening. Now, for this new digital workforce to actually work, it can't be stuck in its own little bubble. It needs a universal way to connect to all the data and all the tools out there, kind of like how all our gadgets need a standard way to plug in and get power.
And that's where this brilliant idea comes in. It's a solution called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, and it has the perfect nickname, the USB-C for AI, because it's aiming to be that one, single, universal plug that lets any AI model connect to any system.
This is an open standard, and big players like Google and Microsoft are already on board. It makes everything a simple three-step dance. First, an agent can discover what tools are out there. Then, it can seamlessly connect to them. And finally, it can interact to do what it needs to do, all without engineers having to write tons of slow, expensive custom code.
Okay, so once these agents are all connected and they're out there doing things for us, a whole new question pops up. How do you manage them? How do you make sure they're working effectively and maybe even more importantly, safely?
To solve this, a whole new kind of tech is popping up called guardian agents. The best way to think of them is as AI supervisors. They're specialized AIs whose only job is to watch over the other agents in real time, making sure the entire AI workforce is following company policies and, all the ethical rules.
But this creates a new little problem, what some are calling the efficiency paradox, where the very act of managing your AI workforce becomes its own full-time job. So to fix that, new frameworks are being built. They're designed to make working with an agent feel less like micromanagement and more like a seamless partnership, where you and the AI are just in a state of flow, getting things done together.
As you can probably guess, this is taking off fastest in industries that are drowning in complex data and workflows. Fintech is leading the charge with 45% adoption, with healthcare and e-commerce right behind. It just makes sense for them. They can get a massive benefit from these kinds of automated intelligent systems.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. For these agents to be truly autonomous, they need one more thing: economic autonomy. They need the ability to pay their own bills.
And they already can. As of February 2026, a whole new economic category has literally been born: Agentic GDP. This is economic value generated entirely by AI agents. Using their own digital wallets, they've already created an economy worth $479 million.
This is all being powered by new protocols that let an agent pay for its own cloud computing time or for access to a specific API with zero human involvement. It's a real machine-to-machine economy, and the projected growth is just staggering. We're talking from just under $500 million today to an estimated $50 billion by 2030.
So you see, this isn't just one new piece of tech. It's a whole ecosystem that's taking shape right before our eyes. So let's zoom out a bit and look at the roadmap for how this agent-driven future could unfold over the next decade.
So based on all these trends, researchers have come up with a few key predictions. Some are pretty high confidence, like agentic GDP becoming an official metric that governments track. Others are way more radical, like the idea that pretty soon, most business software will be designed for agents to use first and for humans to use second. And it all fits into this pretty clear 5-phase roadmap. We're right here in phase 1, the integration milestone.
From here, we move through stages of multi-agent collaboration, and eventually, by 2030, we land in a new era of human-AI partnership called the third mind.
But of course, a transition this huge is not going to be risk-free. The analysis also lays out what it calls the 3 omens, which are basically major strategic warnings. They cover the dangers of geopolitical chaos, massive societal disruption from jobs being automated, and of course, critical new security threats from weaponized AI.
And that brings us to the ultimate, most mind-bending vision for this new agent-driven world. The end game of that roadmap we saw, a concept called the third mind. This third mind is reached through a state that researchers call joint qualia calibration. Just try to imagine this. The line between your intention and the AI's action becomes so blurry, so permeable, that it's like you think a thought and it just happens. It's less like using a tool and more like sharing a brain. This suggests that these agents could become so tuned into our thinking that they basically act as an external lobe of our own brain. And that leaves us with a really powerful, really profound final question to think about. Are we no longer just building better tools, or are we actually building an extension of our own minds?